All right, welcome back. I got a special one this time, a special series, a special episode for our Security Plus practice exam number 13. We're going to do all logs and tool outputs, all technical questions today. I know, it's a little bit weird. So, a lot of students were like, I'm really suffering from the lack of knowledge. Like, I understand the theory, but I don't understand how to read logs. I don't understand how to go through that. So we have 5 questions that are going to utilize logs, right, or tool outputs. I think we've got mostly logs here. And I say tool outputs because they're firewall logs, right? But they're logs. And so let's dive into it. I hope you're excited as I am. Let's see if we can answer this one. Let's see if we can't do this. Question number 1: a security analyst reviews firewall logs and notices repeated traffic from an external IP address attempting to access internal systems on 3389. Which of the following should be the security analyst's next step? What do you think? What do you think on this one? There we go. We are looking at the log. See what's going on. What do you think? I know it's an interesting way to take on it. All right, I'm trying to make these videos a little bit shorter. I've been trying to do that. So we are going to pause the video if you need more time. If you need more time, but remember, we only want to take 30 to 45 seconds to answer these questions. Minute tops on these questions. Let's see if we can't go through this one. A security analyst reviews firewall logs and notices repeated traffic from an external IP address attempting to access internal systems on 3389. Which of the following should the analyst's next step? Well, let's start with D. Change the firewall rule to allow access only to specific internal IP addresses. We could do that. I mean, that is a possibility. It's definitely not the best thing that I would do. Definitely not something I would normally do. And so I'm going to put that one off to the side as a maybe. On that one. I don't think it's going to be our best answer, though. Disable port 3389 on all internal systems to prevent future attacks. Why would we do that? We want RDP across our network. Could you imagine every time your IT network or somebody in your IT staff gets a phone call for a help desk? They'd never be able to do anything. It would increase our ticket resolution time easily about an hour, if not more. They would have to physically go to the computer and then resolve the issue. The entire reason we use 3389 is so they don't have to do that. And so C, not a good answer. Not a good answer in any circumstance. I can't even think. I mean, maybe if we're in an air gap system, maybe. I mean, I can see it in that instance, right? But otherwise, no, I can't see that one. Investigate internal user activity on the network. Why are we doing that? It's from an outside source. It's not from an internal source. That doesn't make any sense at all. And then A, block all traffic on port 3389 from external IP addresses. That's similar to C on the firewall, right? No, that's similar to D, excuse me. Similar to D on the firewall. So let's read this. Block all traffic on 3389 from external IP addresses. We would definitely want to do that. Or change the firewall rule to allow only specific internal IP addresses. I feel like A is the easier answer. 100%. Let's just block external IP access to RDP. There's no reason for external IP addresses to go in. Our IT staff should be in the building anyway. They should be on the same network. Pretty easy one to start off with. We're going to block all traffic from external IP addresses on 3389. Not going to let it happen. There we go. All right, question number 2. A security administrator monitors traffic with a packet capture tool and notices the following packet. Which of the following actions is the packet most likely initiating? And here we can see a source, a destination, the protocol, and the flag establishing that. What do we have? What do we have going on here? What's going on? What do you think? I know, very small snippet. It doesn't tell us a lot. It doesn't. That's why I like this question. Usually we concentrate on logs from a different perspective. This one, there's really not a lot of information going on here. But if you know what it is, you know what it is. And I know some of you are like, well, of course, if I knew what it was, I'd know the answer. Jeez, Dr. K. All right, let's answer this one. If you need more time, of course, pause that video. A security administrator monitors traffic with a packet capture tool and notices the following packet. Which of the following actions is the packet most likely initiating? We see that it's coming from a source to a destination. Those are both internal IP addresses, private IP addresses, I should say, using TCP and the synchronization flag. Let's start with D. Denial of service attack targeting the destination. No, we're not going to get that just from this. Maybe if we saw repeated ones in a row and they weren't completing the three-way handshake, then we could see it would be a SYN flood attack. But in this case, just on this limited information, that's not the case. Transferring data between the source and the destination. No, if it was transferring data, we'd see a different context, right? Maybe FTP, maybe something else like that, right? That would be more transferring. In this case, we just see TCP, just TCP, not FTP, not HTTP, not something associated with a transfer of data, right? And so not going to be C. Closing the connection between the source and the destination. Well, if we did that, we'd see a fin flag, F-I-N, finish flag, and we're not seeing that. Establish a connection between the source and the destination. Absolutely. 100%. A is going to be the answer. 100%. And that's the first part, right? All right, there we are. I know, not too hard. Question number 3. A security analyst reviews system logs for suspicious activities and notices the following entries. Based on the log entries, which actions should the analyst prioritize? We're getting a little bit harder on these now. A little bit harder. We have some logs here. And I'm going to let you read through this. Don't worry, if you don't know how to read this, we're going to read through it together. We're going to go through it before we even answer the questions. All right? But what do you think? What do you think on this one? All right, let's knock this one out. Let's take a tackle at this one. Need more time, obviously. Pause the video. So here we have, right at the top, we can see it was done on September 12th at 2:32 p.m. and 12 seconds, and we see SU. So super user. SU failed for user admin from, and we can see it, dev PTS, right? And then we see failed password for invalid user admin, and then we see failed password for invalid user root, and then failed password for invalid user guest. Now, I think I know what this is. I think you know what it is, but it's on SSH, right? And so we're seeing multiple users in a row trying to gain access to the system with the wrong password. That's like indicative of what type of attack? You know what it is. It's a brute force attack, right? So what should we do? Let's start with D again. Disable SSH on the server to prevent brute force attacks. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to disable our SSH. We need that SSH. We need to be able to get into the server. Just because somebody's attacking it doesn't mean that's where we want to start. Definitely not something we're going to do. Implement multi-factor authentication for remote access. I like multi-factor authentication. I really do. And I could see where we would want to do that, but no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not in this case. There's a better answer. There really is. That leaves A and B. Investigate internal user behavior for suspicious activities or block IP address 192.168.2.45. Prevent further login attempts. Well, if we look at A and B and we look at this, I like both answers. I really do. And I would say that both of these are correct answers. They really are. But which one is the more correct answer? Right off the bat, which one do you think is going to have immediate action? Which one should we prioritize? Which one should we do? Should we investigate first, or should we just block the IP address first? I would say we're going to block it first. 100% going to block it first. We're going to block that sucker. Then we're going to investigate what's going on. Could be malware that's inside that internal client. It could be an IoT device. It could be any number of things, but it is definitely inside of our internal network. But is it an internal user, or is it that we've had a malicious software or an application or a device that's been taken over? And so A is a correct answer, but it's not the best correct answer. The answer is going to be B. There it is. Question number 4. A security analyst reviews a web server's logs and notices the following entries. Based on the logs, which action should the security analyst take first? I'll let you read through that. I'll let you go through that on your own. In a minute, don't worry, we're going to tackle this. We're going to tackle this one. We are going to look at it. We're going to see what's going on. All right. Hopefully you've had time to go through these answers. I know I'm trying to shorten it up a little bit. I really am. All right. If you need more video time, if you need more time to answer this question, go ahead and pause that video. Security analyst reviews a web server's logs and notices the following entries. Based on the logs, which actions should the security analyst take? Well, we see that it was done on September 13th at 09:20 in the morning. We see a web server get command from admin login PHP. We see the username is admin and password equals 123456. And we see 200 OK. The output is forbidden. So somebody tried to log in with a username admin and probably one of the most popular passwords out there. And then we see right afterwards, literally the response came at 15 after. And then 45 seconds later, we see admin login. We see username admin, password admin123, another popular password. And we see 200 OK. and they were able to get access to our system. Who has their password set as admin? Okay, definitely an issue. Definitely an issue. All right, so let's try and tackle this one. Let's start with A this time. Block IP address responsible for login attempts. I would definitely, that is definitely on my list. That's definitely on my list. I'm going to put that one off to the side because I like that answer. I really do. That's a good answer. Reset password for the administrator account. Reset the password for the administrator account. Again, another great answer because if they got in with admin123, I would want to reset that. I mean, I don't know why admin123 is a password on our system. So another great answer. I'm going to put that one off to the side. But actually, let's take a look at this one. Which one's better? Should we block the IP address responsible for the login attempts first? Or should we reset the password for the administrator account first? I feel like resetting the password would be quicker. I really do. I would definitely do both. I would definitely do both. But I would probably reset the password first. And the reason is because I could block the IP, but any hacker worth their salt is going to be able to change their IP address. Anybody, and especially once they get in or they get share the password, because it was already a problem, right? Admin123 is not a good password. And so I personally, I would reset the password. I feel like B is better than A. All right? So B is at the top of our list right now. Investigate a potential server query language injection attack. There's nothing on here for SQL. SQL, even our password being 123456 does not indicative of an SQL attack. So C is like the easy one to get rid of. No questions about it. Remember, SQL attack usually has a true statement at it. It's like a hyphen or, and it's like 1 equals 1. Something true statement associated with it. That's usually an SQL attack. In this case, we're not seeing that. So C is not a good one. D, review the logs for brute force attempts on the administrator account. We could go that route too. All of these are good answers. They really are. I like all of them. I really do. So which one is the best answer? I think if you look at reviewing the logs for brute force attempts on the administrator account, and we look at the question, it says, which action should the security analyst take first? We know that it's gained access. We can see that because it wasn't forbidden, right? Then I would have to say that B is the best answer. That's me. B is going to be the correct answer on this one. It's going to be reset the password for the administrator account. Now I want to preface this, right? Had the 200 OK not been there, right? Had it not provided that 200 OK, had it come back as forbidden again, I would have put D. D would have been my next best answer. All right. But in this case, since they gained access to it, I feel like the immediate action is to reset the password. That's just me. Okay. That's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with reset the administrator password. All right. Question number 5. A security administrator is investigating failed login attempts to a server and sees the following entries in the system log. Which of the following actions should the administrator take first? What do you think about this one? I know, another set of logs. I would rate this one as actually very difficult. This is not an easy one. I tried to find the most complicated, convoluted question on this one. If you get this one wrong, don't feel bad, because I tried to find a really good question for this one. I went out of my way to find a difficult question for number 5. I'm going to be honest with you. And so look at this one. Understand it. I think, but don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. If you have a gut feeling and you're looking at this and you're like, I think it's this, but I'm not sure, don't talk yourself out of it. Don't go against that thing. I think that you know the answer. It's not that difficult. It's difficult, not that difficult. Let's answer this one. If you need more time, let's answer this one. A security administrator is investigating failed login attempts to a server and sees the following entries in the system log. Which of the following actions should the administrator take first? Here we see that on September 13th, starting at about 10:45 in the morning, we see server 1, SSH. We see failed password for invalid user guest from an IP address. Then we see admin. Then we see root. And then we see the port being 54.321. Not our standard port for SSH. Connection closed. We can see that by 203.0.113.50 on the same port. And so we see that we've got all of these passwords here trying to be logged in from guest, admin, and root. And then we see a connection closed, making us believe that there was a connection open between the two, right? And so we have some good answers here. All right. Let's start with D. Enable logging of successful login attempts for all users. That's not the first action I would take. It's not. It really isn't. And so I feel like that one, pretty easy to say. Well, why would I do that first, right? Shouldn't I deal with the fact that somebody was trying to log in and possibly actually was logged in? Based on that, I feel like that's an easy one to say no to. Investigate the guest, admin, and root counts for compromise. Well, we already know that they weren't compromised because we can see failed password for guest, admin, and root. That's not the one I'm concerned with. The one I'm concerned with is the very bottom one where a connection was closed. And so, yeah, so not something I would be worried about. Disable SSH access for all users except administrators. I don't know why we would do that. That makes no sense at all. So what about blocking IP address 203.0.113.50 on the firewall? I feel like that would be the immediate answer, right? And believe it or not, I think we just had a question about this. This last line right here, okay, this is there to trick you. It is. It's there to trick you. That's the only reason that the one's there. It's not, they provided this because this, all the data's right here. All the data's right here, okay? Does it matter that it's on a different port? No, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. It could be on any port we want it to. We don't care that it's not on a regular port. So CompTIA will do this often. They'll throw things like this, these little red herrings out to kind of catch you, to make you second guess yourself. And that's why I was like, don't second guess yourself, right? This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what port it's on. That has nothing to do with it. SSH is SSH, right? And this one right here, this was there to fool you. It was there to fool you. But A is going to be a correct answer. I think you got it. You probably got this one. If you did, congratulations. If you fell for the red herring, I apologize. It's mean. It is. But we'll see you next time. Have a good one, everyone. I hope you got something out of it. We'll see you next time.